Alberto Tessa! Yo, what's going on, everybody?
What a concept.
Yeah, that was cool. I haven't seen a lot of that footage in a long time.
Yeah, the day we met.
Yeah.
It's on there.
It's like on camera, which is crazy.
Crazy.
So we're gonna let you guys ask the questions. Is that okay? Anyone has one? Jump right up.
Otherwise, it's gonna get
We're just gonna be staring at each other.
Hello.
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 I already asked Alberto this question, I think, but I haven't met him before. Do you have a goal which relates?
Go to therapy.
I would say the same thing. I'd be like, yo, everything's gonna work out. You just relax a little bit. You don't be so anxious all the time. Planning is good. Anxiety is not. So like, keep planning and doing that microphone. Keep planning and doing that. What advice would Heidi give you?
Probably to like own my space a little bit more, like, yeah, feel the power. Something, I don't know, like just like be more confident. Right?
Yeah. Oh, then I think Simon would tell me to. He'd probably tell me not to forget the fun. He'd be like, don't forget the fun, dude. That's really important. Keep having fun. Because life gets serious. And it's like, don't let it get too serious. It's not that serious. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hello. And my question is, what is your favorite moment with the Shadowhunter cast? Like, a moment that is very, very special to your heart?
I mean, there are a lot for me. Because there are a lot of firsts and a lot of memories that I'll never forget. Like when we went to the Star Wars premiere as a cast. That was epic. Like I walked by Harrison Ford. Like that was nuts. But I think there's definitely like recent ones where we're all together, probably at one of these conventions, and we're all just kind of hanging out, and we get to go, yo, remember like in 2017 when we all showed up on set and met each other, and now where we are, like people are married, people have children, we would have never expected life to go this way. So I think it's like the whole experience is really special.
That's very sweet.
Well, I joined late, but we've had so many really incredible experiences together, especially it's still happening, and seeing everybody again and like grabbing a bite to eat. I know it's so simple, but like it really is special. I feel very grateful.
Thank you. Hey.
So I just wanted to ask, when you were auditioning, what kind of drew you to your characters?
Yeah, so, well, I auditioned in season 2, and it was for one episode, and then my agent reached out and was like, I thought you died? They want you back? Like, I'm confused, and I was like, oh, well, maybe she's a vampire now, like, we'll see. And then actually a breakdown went out, which is like what happens when they're looking to cast the role.
I'm in a place where I don't know if I have dream roles. I just want to tell stories that make me excited, regardless of scale. Whether it's something huge like a Marvel movie or something small with a director we've never heard of. Like I would
Oh my gosh, I was just thinking you would fit so well into the Marvel universe, like a superhero. So they gotta hit you up.
Hey, you tell them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You call them and tell them we're available.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
people.
Can you give us a bit more context, like generally, or in what way?
The people bring you coffee, or say every morning, good morning.
Like a love language, kind of?
So you're saying like, if, I wish every morning someone would just bring me a cup of coffee? Something like that?
Yeah, like you're already listing pretty great ones.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
You like waking up to the smell of coffee?
Yes, I do.
Or the sound of...
You making coffee?
Yeah, well, yeah. But like piano or something.
Oh yeah, I would love
I
it.
have a special question. In Chicago Fire, you like a monkey? So
Yeah.
How different are we talking about? You know, because it has to be quite the departure for that to have been healthy.
I think what it would have brought out like that alternative world was like your innermost self. How like in the alternative world, Izzy was like kind of like a really geeky person because that's what she was inside, but she was the shadow.
Dom?
I mean, kind of how you guys see it. Right? It was cool. We were the first people cast in the show. If you guys remember when the announcements were coming out, it was Dom and then me. And then they sent us to Toronto. So for the first week,
You're not gonna sit and like enjoy it.
you know how it's all made. So you're watching for specific things. You're like, oh, this scene was one that was really hard, so I want to see if it turned out the way I wanted it to. I'm not watching it like, although at the end of, I don't know if I should admit this, but at the end of Chicago Fire, I was watching the show being like, oh my God, when did that happen? I wasn't there for that. Oh God, I didn't read that. Because the show it was easier. With the fantasy show, you want to be involved, you want to read it all and know what's happening, whereas in that show it's very episodic. I hate to say it this way, it's not what I feel, it doesn't matter as much. So it was more fun to watch because I didn't know what was going to happen. Whereas like Shadowhunters, I was really watching for my role and then how it's all going to tie in. But Tessa watches my stuff.
Yes, and I fill him in on like what's going on in the show. But like it's also the cool thing I think is like when you do your job on the day, whatever, and then like however many months later, or sometimes years, you see it and you're like, oh, okay, so then this team came in and did this and then color corrected it, and then this team came in and they cut it in a way that like changes it in a good way, right? Like collaboration changes the performance, and so I think it is good to watch to see, like have a bigger understanding of the small role that you play. And that way, like when you're back on set doing it again, you can kind of look around and be like, okay, so lighting it like this, so I actually don't need to do as much because the lighting is telling a lot of the story for me. And then it becomes, if you watch it, it does become more of a collaboration, which is good. But once again, like, yeah, it's maybe way down the road you could watch back and enjoy, but
in essence, it's like every person brings their ingredient. So like if I'm the onions of the dish, I bring my onions, and Tessa's, let's say I don't know what else, the carrots, you know, she brings her ingredient, and then other people have to cook it and get it ready so that at the end, you get to go eat. And you're like, oh, whoa, those carrots are great. How do they make them good? It's fantastic. So it's yeah.
That would have been my follow-up question, if you can see yourself like in a few years watching it because you've been the story.
Sometimes it's nice to watch too, because you're like watching the video that just came up there. Tessa and I and the Wings were like, oh my God, we were babies. we were in our early 20s when we met. Now we're in our early 30s. So it's like, whoa. It's cool to have something to like stamp a time in your life. And looking back on it, as with most things, you only remember the good things. You don't remember the stuff that bothered you or annoyed you. You remember all of the lovely little things that made life awesome.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
I have two questions. The first is for the both of you. If you had a choice between two roles, one is closer to your personality and one is very far away from your personality, what role would you pick?
I think the realistic thing is the one closer to your personality, because typically, like if I'm casting something, I'm gonna pick someone more similar to it because there's someone else that could play the other role, you know? But
I think it's also depending where like we are. I'm in a place right now where I would love to be challenged like that. I feel like I've played a few roles recently that are closer to my personality. Right? So for me, I'm looking forward to that opportunity to play something that's totally different. Whereas I feel like if I've been doing that, I'll be like, no, it'd be nicer to play something closer to home, not as stressful. But more stressful than otherwise.
yeah, depends on what kind of departure it is.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I mean, and more fun, and you learn more if you have to play something for different. But ultimately, like, I think almost everybody still tries to bring themselves to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even if you think this person is completely different than you, you still have to figure out how to get there from, like, a similar place that you arrive to things in your own life.
Yeah, you kind of have to figure them out and what makes them tick and everything.
Yeah, so then if it ends up being a little bit closer than you think, like, that person might seem very different, but maybe they're not. Yeah.
That could be scary.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like, especially when you're like playing a murderer and you're like, oh my god, like, I don't want to feel like this person at all.
Someone cuts you off, you're like, I get it.
Just the scale is different. Yeah.
Thank you. So the second question is for Alberto. Since Shadowhunters Simon is a thing in the books, if you are writing the rest of Simon's story, would you have wanted him to be a Shadowhunter down the line, or do you think that his character should have remained a vampire to the end?
I think Simon would want to be a Shadowhunter only because he can like talk to his family again, and I think that was like the hardest thing he had to go through was.
Yeah, that scene with his family was very emotional.
Yeah, so I feel like any way that he could get them back, he would prefer, and I would want that too. I think it's a rare journey that you see someone go from mundane to downworlder to daylighter to shadowhunter. It's like no one's done it, so I think that's something he takes pride in. I'm the only one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you own cats. Do you think Simon and I wanted to say Tessa, Heidi, would be cat people or dog people?
Cat people. Because we always felt that like vampires were similar to cats in some ways, and like movement quality, like stealth factor,
Actual power and strength, but boundaries, and like we don't need you.
Yeah, the people-pleasing factor at a 0.
It's nice to have you around though, but we don't need you. Yeah, we're cats.
Yeah, I think I agree. Thank you.
So, hello. No, I mean like when you were filming the scene that maybe you made a mistake or there was someone smiling or laughing, so those kind of bloopers.
Yeah, we don't have access to any of the...
So you don't remember any?
You like never make mistakes. It's scary. I made a major mistake one time. I've told this story at conventions a bunch because it's so funny. Yeah, like, and so sorry if people have heard this before, but like that's the scene where like Heidi's making this speech to all the downworlders to like rally the troops and like, you know, fight the Shadowhunters. And so the whole speech is about like Shadowhunters, Shadowhunters, Shadowhunters. And at the end, I'm supposed to scream like, "To the night, children!" And I was like, to the Shadowhunters!
There's so much connection.
So much gusto. Like, it's not embarrassing, but it's hilarious. It was a really bad mistake. I threw the whole take, for sure.
And it's like a long speech that she gives, so to have to redo it all was...
Yes.
I visited you that day.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and they would just roll on the whole thing. The whole monologue was one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And one last, if you can choose any character from the show, which one would it be?
Maybe
Any
Simon.
of them. Simon.
Maybe Simon. It's the most fun. Like, that's what, everyone's like, I'm all serious, I'm a shadow hunter. Simon's the only one that's like, I'm here for the laughs, so let me get some food, play some music, hang out.
Great. I mean, I truly love playing Tiny. It was so fun, and if you could go back in time before the show was ever made, like I'm sure I would start resonating with different characters as I was reading it. But because you know that you're playing that, you just get this weird attachment. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Because every dog breed has a different character, so yeah.
I feel like you're gonna say German Shepherd or something.
I was?
What's mine then? Maybe
Oh,
help me.
I do think it would be some sort of working dog. Because you work really hard. And you're very...
What kind of working dogs are there? German Shepherd. We're both German Shepherds.
We're both German Shepherds.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.
Of course. We have time for more questions. If anyone... we haven't pulled this out yet. Hi.
Hi. So, if a lion and a bear had a fight, which one would win and why?
A bear.
Why?
Bears are so fast and so strong, and they're huge. Lions are quick and very... I mean, I love lions. Personally, I would want the lion. I'd be rooting for the lion. But bears are... they're bears. I don't know. They're like a brown bear. You mean a brown bear, right? Not like a black bear, a little black bear. They're like a brown bear, like a grizzly bear. Insanely... Okay, so you guys know the whole debate if a silverback gorilla were to fight a bear, who would win? Well, I've done a dive into the qualities.
How do you know all this?
I've done a dive into the qualities of both animals, silverback gorilla and a bear. Bears are incredibly heavy, but for their size, they're incredibly athletic. They run just as fast as a lot of animals and can climb better than most animals. They have talons and teeth. They're also upright, which allows them to use their bodies in different ways. I'm telling you, I think, unfortunately, it would be a bear. I'd be rooting for the lion, but it would be a bear.
How good are lions at climbing?
They're okay at climbing, but...
yeah, not as great as bears.
Not as good as bears.
See, that's a tactical advantage. Literally, if the bear felt they were losing, they could just...
get away fast.
Get away. I have no idea. I don't know anything really about these... I obviously know what those animals are, but I don't know anything beyond that. I don't know their skill set, so I'm not sure. I'm very convinced it's a bear now. Very convinced.
Ask Matt Dario. What did he say?
He said a bear, and it went on for about 20 minutes. Why?
Yeah. I shortened mine, but yeah. Absolutely, it would like I said,
he was probably offended that it, we wouldn't know.
I think he was like, simple, bear.
Hi again. What was the most challenging scene for you in The Shadowhunter?
Challenging physically or emotionally? Because physically it was the scene.
Both.
Remember when Simon tries to go and get the mark of Cain removed? physically, that was incredibly difficult, because when you're on a wire, the harness like cuts off the circulation in your legs. So you're physically, you're doing a lot, but then physically you're getting drained. So I remember almost passing out. That was very hard physically. Emotionally, it was the scene with Simon's mom. That was a tough one.
I had to cry too.
It was just, I don't know how, I don't want to talk about it because it can get heavy for anyone here. I mean, for everyone here who has parents, but saying goodbye to them is not something I wish on anyone, and I pray that I never have to, but, that's a scene that I was like, emotionally, that's a heavy one.
And for you, Tess?
The scene where, well, this isn't narrowed down, but I'm covered in blood, and it's like in the torture basement with David Castro, and it was just logistics. It was like they left us and went to shoot other things and then came back. So I had blood all over the backs of my legs. So I sat down and I got stuck to the chair. Like literally glued to the chair. It was insane. And then I stood up and the chair came with me and I was like, oh my God. So I couldn't sit for hours. So I was like, after you've been standing a while, you start to kind of just squat. So I was squatting down and then my hamstring stuck to my calves. And I was like, this is, I literally can't win with this.
Like this.
But I would have been
stuck. Yeah.
So it was just logistically a difficult day because of that. And imagine you're getting your, do people still do this, wax their eyebrows or legs? It was like that, but all day, So physically, I would say that one, that would be any of the stunts that we had to do. Emotionally, they were all pretty, I felt a lot of tension that I had to try to work through, how to release that after the scene. I feel like that was for a lot of it, though. She was always kind of held onto a lot of tension. Yeah, I would say that specific day was the one I'll pick.
One more question. What has changed everything in your life since you played in the Shadowhunters? Or did anything change?
Well, yeah, we're married now.
Woo!
That's a big one.
Biggest thing that came from the show.
Thank you. I apologize if this has been asked before, but Alberto, I know in a couple of the scenes you sang some songs, obviously.
The Shadowhunters audition season 2, I was like, oh, this show. I audition for this all the time. I've been in for it so many times.
Was it Camille?
You can check, yeah, right?
I'm curious because I thought, you made a great Camille.
Think of it this way, when you're an actor in a city, you're auditioning for the things that are going to be new, and you're auditioning for the things that are shooting. Because Keys.
That was good. That is one of my checks.
Yeah, definitely keys. Mostly, and we also have to check and make sure our door is locked the right way.
Oh,
because
our kitten learned how to open the front door. Yeah,
can you imagine that?
Terrifying actually. And then in the middle of the night, it was she just learned it. We have a little bell on the door, and so we hear the door open, and the bell goes off.
In the middle of the night.
Yes.
In the middle of the night.
And we're like, well, we're dead.
It's happening! Grab something heavy! It's happening!
He didn't even look back, he just ran down the stairs, and I was like, we didn't assess the situation. It was just Amelia, the little kitten, being
trying to escape.
Yeah, trying to go outside.
Keys are a good thing.
So keys.
Yeah, sorry, that was a tangent, but keys. What else?
I don't have
You do the keys, wallet, phone,